And thank you for joining us for KBOI 2 News Midday. I'm Brian Moore, and let's get right to your top 11 stories at 11 today. A small plane made a hard landing on I-84 this morning, happening just after 7 o'clock right before the Orchard exit. Luckily, nobody was hurt. The plane blocked the exit and the right 2 lanes of traffic for about 2 hours, snarling that morning commute. Now, Kelsey McFarland shows us the pilot's Mayday call and witnessed 911 calls in just a few moments. The Walker Fire has now burned more than 3,400 acres just south of Idaho City. The fire grew more than 700 acres yesterday. Despite warm temps and light winds, crews were able to gain substantial ground on that fire, but still, fire managers say a fire like this in the middle of October is rare.
The normal crews that would work during the summer have all started to kind of disband, so we have to pull people together from other units to make up the individual hand crews. So there's people out there. It just takes a little more work now to rally up the resources, unlike in the summer when they're on, full time.
More hotshot crews have been requested to help battle the Walker Fire. They are expected to arrive this afternoon. And smoke from the Walker Fire sank into the Treasure Valley, triggering a red air quality alert. You can see and smell it yesterday and today. Now, as a result, yesterday, multiple school districts, including Boise and West Ada, canceled outdoor recess, as well as after-school practices just to be safe.
I think that they made the best decision for that. I mean, better keep them indoors and not breathing all this stuff.
The DEQ has called another red air quality alert for today, although the air does seem a little bit better than yesterday. Kansas City, Missouri firefighters are mourning the loss of 2 of their own. The 2 firefighters were killed battling a massive apartment fire last night. The fire chief says they were caught inside that building when it collapsed. 2 other firefighters were injured during the blaze. No word on their conditions. 3 Nampa men now behind bars after being caught on warrants. Nampa police located the men yesterday morning. All 3 had warrants for failure to appear on various charges. Daniel Amon was additionally charged with frequenting a residence where drugs are used. John Rada and Daniel Palmer were charged with obstruction and delay and attempting to flee. And Brundage Mountain will offer free lift tickets on its beginner chairlift all season to encourage new people to try skiing and snowboarding. Visitors of any age can take advantage of the offer. Other new offerings at Brundage this year: there are 100 new parking spaces in the lower lot. Also, the lodge expansion project is now complete. To improve bicycle safety around Boise, ACHD will be painting green bike boxes at a number of intersections around downtown. Now, the boxes put bicyclists out in front of cars at intersections to make them more visible. Planners say it helps to avoid confusion when people are trying to make turns and hopefully reduce car versus bike crashes. You'll see those boxes popping up on Capitol Boulevard along with River, Idaho, and Bannock Streets.
For me, it's been very effective. I come on up, I skirt in front of the cars. Once the light turns green, I have the right of way, and I kind of set the pace for many of the cars that are going.
Those boxes certainly aimed at making turning much more safe. 2 reports are out this morning that detail how Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was brought down. The Dutch Safety Board and a Russian missile producer both say they've determined that a decommissioned Russian missile fired at the plane took it down. All on board were killed. The investigation has yet to determine who fired that missile. And a Nampa woman pleads guilty to burning a man with hot water. 27-year-old Marlo Ann Shamblin admitted to throwing scalding water on the man. This was back in April. Prosecutors said in court she invited him to her house to have sex. Then she became angry when he wouldn't leave. That man was burned in several places. Shamblin will be sentenced in December. Recovery is moving along for the 5-year-old boy who was struck by a minivan while riding his bicycle last month. Max Wyatt is now in the burn intensive care unit of the University of Utah Hospital. This, according to his GoFundMe page. His first burn surgery is scheduled for today. Doctors say they are pleased with the healing process. His GoFundMe page has raised more than $80,000 to help with his family's medical bills now. And the Boise State Broncos certainly have a flair for the dramatic, going back to the famous hook and lateral against Oklahoma. They certainly love those trick plays. Now, this past week, this is what you got against Colorado State. The Broncos pulled off a halfback pass with Shane Williams-Rhodes to Thomas Spurbeck, and it goes in. Coach Harsin does not take all the credit either.
Dominance to me isn't a game or isn't, you know, half a season. It's a full season, you know, of playing that. Every week you have to be humble and hungry each week because every opponent is different.
And of course, that was the wrong soundbite. That was defensive coordinator Marcel Yates. Harse actually saying that the players actually come up with a lot of these trick plays.